Hi, this is Mr. Bissonette with another episode with Math in the Classroom. Today we are going to work on polynomial division. So here we go. I can use polynomial division to solve for products of a polynomial. Okay, so even right there in the learning target, we kind of have quite a bit to break apart, but we'll get that broke apart and explain how it works. And this is one of those ones that sounds way more complicated than what it is to do mathematically. But here we go. Polynomial, this is just saying many terms or multiple terms. Polynomial division, so we're going to have one part that we're going to divide into the other part. And then to solve for the products, so we're just looking for the two parts that multiply together to create the whole polynomial. So first thing that I do and start off with my students is a lot of times we might see a problem that looks like this. X squared plus 11x plus 24 over something like x plus 3. Now, just like I teach my division, I'm going to teach this polynomial division in the same way. I think it really helps kids to relate the process and understand what's happening. So I always go back with my regular division coming from a fraction. The way that we remember which piece goes where is like this. It's back to the old playground game of King of the Hill or Queen of the Hill, however you want to look at it. And what we do or what we realize is the person that is on top is the one that's the king or queen. And if we just look at that politically speaking, we can see that as well, that similarity. Who's ever on top is the king or queen. Now I ask the students which one's on top on the fraction, and I get them to say the x squared plus 11x plus 24. Really have those students practice saying what we're doing. And so that one is our king or our queen. Now if this was our castle, our division deal, is this going to be inside the castle or outside the castle? And most students get it right away. This is going to be inside the castle, so we know that that's where we put that piece. X squared plus 11x plus 24. Now, by process of elimination, that tells me that this x plus 3 is then going to go on the outside. So if we're doing a bullet point, I would say first step is to place queen or king in the castle. Okay, get the problem set up. Now, once we have the problem set up, now we start with the polynomial division. Now, much like we do with regular division, our first question we ask might be a little bit backwards of division, but I think of it like this. X times what is going to equal our x squared? And students normally do a pretty good job of getting the x. Okay. Now, you multiply this piece into both terms, and that's what comes underneath. So x times x is going to be our x squared, and x times 3 is going to be 3x. Again, just like our regular division, we are going to subtract these. X squared minus x squared, that's going to sum to 0. 11x minus our 3x is going to be 8x. Now, or next, I'll bring down that 24. So let's put that into a bullet point what we just did. We place our queen, king into the castle. After that, what multiplies first term. Okay, what multiplies to get it to be the first term? Slash multiply and subtract. Okay, so we figure out what multiplies to go into that, our x, and then we multiply it out, and now we subtract. After that, we're going to bring down the next term. Bring down next term. Okay. And we're going to ask ourselves that same question. X times what will equal 8x? And it's going to be a plus 8 plus 8. So 8 times x is going to be our 8x. 8 times our 3 is going to be a positive 24. And we subtract and we're going to get 0. So this problem does not have any remainders. We will show you what we're going to have to do with remainders later, but for right now, as far as our polynomial division, that's what we do for a polynomial division. Now, the other part that I like to show students is I like to start making that step to simplifying these and seeing what that looks like. So I ask them this question: given this information, how can we then write this in a different way? Hopefully we can get something that maybe looks like this: x plus 3 times our x plus 8 over our x plus 3. That might be one way to look at it, realizing that this times this is going to equal this, so we can replace that top with those factors. And then as we move towards simplifying a little bit more, hopefully students start seeing that this will turn into a 1, and we could just write it as x plus 8, and all of those would be equivalent. Okay? So I can use polynomial division. This is our polynomial division to solve for products. Here is our products of the polynomial. So we can use that strategy for a couple different things. If we're trying to figure out what our factors are from our polynomial, we can do that. If we're trying to figure out how we can simplify an expression, we can use it for that. So it's kind of a real multi-purpose tool. All right. Again, that's another episode with Mr. Bissonette as far as using polynomial division. And thank you for watching.